Catch Up with Coach is the new digital and print hybrid program from Coach for ELA and Math, grades 3 through 8. Catch Up with Coach allows you to identify student learning gaps from the previous school year and address these gaps with curated Coach content. Targeted assessments identify the gaps, reporting prescribes lessons and practice to fill the learning gaps and get your students working at grade level. What will the learning environment at your school look like for this year? Catch Up with Coach adapts to any learning environment. For in-class instruction, lessons can be taught online or in print. Digital practice is auto-scored and reported, but a print option is also available. Each lesson has teacher-supported material. You can share your screen in the classroom for direct instruction and assign independent digital practice for students to complete in school or at home. Catch Up with Coach adapts easily to remote learning. Lessons are available online and students can follow direct instruction provided by the teacher. Digital practice is auto-scored and reported. The reports provide clear insights into student performance and recommend instruction to assist students performing below proficiency. This is extremely helpful when teachers cannot observe their students in the classroom. Catch Up with Coach allows you to move between remote and in-class learning environments. Availability of lessons, teacher guides, and practice in print and online aid in the transition between in-class and remote learning. Clever rostering and single sign-on take you directly to the teacher dashboard. Command Central of Catch Up with Coach is the lesson planner. Select the grade and content area you want to work in. Remember that when addressing learning gaps, you are working with content from the previous school year. I am using Math Grade 4 Lesson Planner to identify gaps for 5th grade math students. The grade level content is designed to help students master the most important skills they'll need for the next grade. Notice how the content is organized into units and lessons. Units are comparable to domains or strands, and lessons are aligned to skills, similar in most cases to the organization of your state standards. Catch Up with Coach offers several ways to identify learning gaps. The grade level screener assesses a full year of skills, targeting the skills necessary for students to be successful in the current year and beyond. The test takes about 45 minutes. It is auto-scored and reported, but also available in print and provides an answer key. Why use a full year test? If you want to teach all the lessons from the prior school year before beginning the current year's work, the full year screener will help you determine how many days of teaching will be required. Depending on the extent of the learning gaps and based on each lesson taking about 2 45-minute periods to cover, a 30 to 50-day plan will be required. If you plan to address learning gaps in the context of the current year's work, the on-demand or just-in-time approach use the full year test to get an overview of the extent of the learning gaps you will have to cover during the school year. This will help to advance lesson planning by allowing you to address the gaps throughout the school year. It will also give you a good idea of how extensive the learning gaps are, in which units or lessons are concentrated, and where students require the most help. Additionally, it will reveal students who are already working on grade level. Each unit has a unit pretest. These are shorter assessments of about 20 minutes that focus on skills within the unit. They provide a more targeted analysis of student performance. You can use the unit pretest after administering the screening test, or skip the full year screener and just use the unit pretest. Ideally, you would give both tests to give you a more complete analysis of the learning gaps. From the lesson planner, you can also access the score reports for the screener and unit tests. In the student score report, you have the ability of setting the proficiency. Assignments will be recommended based on the proficiency level that you set. If students are showing below proficiency, you can hover over their score to see recommended assignments. You can even use the lesson button to assign the lessons in bulk. The skills report will give you an analysis of how your students performed on each of the skills. If you hover over one of the skills, it will tell you a description of what that skill covers. For more details about your students' skills, you can use the export option. If you hover over your student's score, you will see a pop-up of recommended assignments with the teacher for instruction, for lesson for the student, or practice for auto-graded scores. There are 2 levels of lessons available to address learning gaps in Catch Up with Coach. The first level of lesson is assigned by the full year screener and the unit pretest. This is a grade level lesson that includes instruction, practice, and teacher support material. Scores below the proficiency level you set will appear in red. You can assign the second level lesson from the report. The second level lesson either goes back a year to a foundational or prerequisite skill, or is an easier grade level lesson that teaches the same skill. Notice that the white boxes indicate that the lesson has not been assigned. Boxes showing the clock icon indicate the student is working on the lesson, but has not yet completed the lesson. Again, Catch Up with Coach provides flexibility. You can assign the second lesson based on practice scores, or wait to assign the second lesson based on scores received on the unit post-test, or both. If you have previously assigned the lesson, you will receive a message to that effect in the assignment pop-up. Remember that the second level lessons do not appear in the lesson planner and cannot be accessed through the grade level screener or unit pretest. The unit post-test report will recommend the second level of lessons for your students performing below the proficiency level you set. After you've assigned the second level lesson, it will appear in the score report for progress monitoring. With Catch Up with Coach, you can easily flip your classroom, assigning the instruction as homework, online or in print, prior to teaching it directly to the students. This will refresh your students' recollection of the content, familiarize them with the subject matter, and give context to your instruction. Digital practice for each lesson is auto-scored and reported. With Catch Up with Coach, you can always go back to your main dashboard by selecting the Catch Up with Coach icon at the top left-hand corner of your screen. On your main homepage, if you click on the assessment report, it will take you to the Progress Management Report. This will give you your students' averages on how they performed on their pre-tests versus their post-tests. You can set the proficiency, or even pull up a side-by-side comparison to see how your students have performed in relationship to the rest of the class. Catch Up with Coach is flexible and easy to use. You can see it in the simple interface and straightforward workflow that make it a great tool for teacher-led instruction. The teacher can use the program to quickly assess knowledge, target learning gaps, assign instruction and practice, and monitor progress. It's got an easy setup thanks to single sign-on and clever integration. Just load in your students' data once, and you're ready to roll. Lessons and digital practice for each grade are displayed in the simple unit lesson format, and you can quickly assign practice right from the screen. Then see completion and grading data in reports. Again, simple. I think you'll agree that Catch Up with Coach is the right program at the right time. But we also understand that so many of the schools and districts that need its help the most are exactly the ones that must watch every dollar. So I'm especially happy to tell you that this program is priced within the reach of everyone who needs it. Here are a few ways we're keeping it affordable. First, because it's curated from several Coach programs, it lets you teach the most essential Coach content at a much lower cost than the full Coach library. Also, you buy only one site-wide license for the year, and it covers the whole school. And there's no limit on the number of students enrolled. No matter how many students are enrolled at your school, their price remains the same. Now about the pricing. You can get Catch Up with Coach ELA for $649. That's all year for the whole school, online and printable, grades 3 through 8 for an unlimited number of students. Catch Up with Coach Math, the same. And the Catch Up with Coach bundle, both ELA and Math, is just $9.99. We're bringing you a package that's made for these times, ready to roll out right now, and built around Coach materials that are classroom proven, all priced so you can afford to help all your students. And we wouldn't have it any other way.